Is the Austin housing market finally crashing or crashed? Jeremy Knight, the Night Group, your favorite Austin realtor. Hey, look, I'm going to go through the stats for May because, as I've been saying for a long time, that the last half of this year may be the best time to be purchasing, and the numbers are still kind of supporting that. So you tell me in the comment section if you are somebody who's looking to buy or if you are currently selling. I want to hear from you in the comment section. I just saw an article the other day that was talking about, in fact, I'm going to do a full video about this. It was talking about sellers that are going to start pulling back from the market. Now, you have seen articles come out that are showing that there are way more sellers than there are buyers in the market right now. And we obviously know all the reasons for that. But in this article, which I'll go into way more detail on in my next video, we're actually going to talk about the fact that sellers are going to start pulling back from the market, realizing that they're not going to get what they thought they were. And as we go through the Austin numbers, that might you might see that in what we're looking at here. So the Austin numbers came out for May, and they show a lot of different things. And why don't I just start getting into it right away? So here are actually the lease numbers that just landed. And what's interesting is I don't ever really talk about leasing, but I think one of the things that we've seen is investors have pulled back from the market. And partly why investors are pulling back from the market is this. You're seeing year over year rents are down about 0.5% in the Austin area, and they're closing at 97%. Now, there's so much information out there and so many different people talking about how the rental market's crashing and how much more multifamily is coming on. But what we're seeing here is that year over year, it's about flat, about 1% down, but still a little flat. If we look at the different markets here, the city of Austin is absolutely flat at $2,500 as a median rent. I don't like to do median rents or rents too much because my team and I don't actually help with rents or do rentals. But look at this, 2.3 months of inventory is not a lot of inventory. It's up slightly year over year, 0.01, but inventory is only about 2.3 months of inventory. And we'll talk about the months of inventory for real estate here in a second, but only 2.1 months of inventory for rentals. You would think that that would be a lot higher based on the information that we're hearing in the market. So you tell me, are you still getting good deals on rentals? Are you not? But here's what I found very, very, very interesting. Here are the Austin numbers, and I'm going to show you a chart here in a second. So please stay tuned because I think the chart will help break this down a little bit more than what you're seeing just by these numbers. But look, 449,000 is the median price right now in the Austin area. And I run really quick stat. This is why I think, the last half of the year is going to be the best time for people to purchase. 59% of the closings in May were 59% were under 500K. So almost 60% were under $500,000 and under the national average. So, the national average is 416,000. Or the national median price is 416,000. 45% of the closings in Austin were under that. So it is slightly more affordable for buyers in this market than it was. Although when we look at rates still haven't really done a whole lot. They're down to 6.88, but a lot of buyers are just buying now. They're not really stressing about rates. And we know that because we saw a huge increase. In fact, watch the next video. We saw a huge increase in the amount of people that did applications. There was a 20% increase year over year in applications, and month over month, it was a 10% increase month over month. So we do know that there are more buyers getting back into the market now. That maybe they're not as afraid of the market. I don't know. But we are seeing more buyers in the market. So, and how we know that too is pending sales is up 16% year over year. So if we're looking at the whole MSA in Austin, all of the MSA, we had way more. So buyers have more to choose from. And the months of inventory is still about five months. That's not as bad as it was about 6 months not too long ago. Closed sales were down last month, obviously 3.8%. But look at this, active listings are still year over year 17% higher. So buyers do have more to choose from. So sellers, please price right. Please price right. It is tough. I know it's even hard now to know where things are needing to price at. But look at this, from close to list price ratio is 94. So 94.6. So that's just showing you people are getting homes under contract typically 5% below list price from where they are. Now this is from I think where they close, not original list price. So that might change even more. I think it's hard to pull those numbers to see original list price. But here we go. Austin numbers themselves. Austin's down 2% to 595, and the median sales were up 21%, 1690. That's a lot for year over year compared. So this is what I'm saying is like more buyers are finally getting back in the market. They're getting better deals. And a lot of people are just sitting on the sideline going, oh, I'm not going to buy because the market sucks. But look, we were pending sales last month. We're up 21% year over year. Now, look, the year before was really low. And I'm going to show you some numbers here in a second that are pretty interesting as well. But closed sales last month were down 5.8%. People are back in the market now in the month of May. Remember, these all close. Homes that go under contract in May close in June. So June numbers everything runs in about a month behind because data is lagging. So that's pretty interesting information. If we look at the other markets like Hayes was barely down 1%. So they're coming back month over month because those prices were down pretty significantly the month before. So their pendings are up. So pendings are up and Hayes as well. 3.8 months inventory. Where we see Austin almost 6 months for the city of Austin. So that's probably why we saw it come down a little bit, the price. Travis County was down 5%. They have 5.8 months of inventory and pendings were up in Travis County. So pendings are up across the board. Williamson County, look at this. We are up 16.3% in pendings. Now, year over year price is down 2.3% and closed sales were down 3.3%. So yes, buyers are coming back in the market. I know you're going to say, oh, you're a realtor. You're just here to sell stuff. I'm just showing you the facts and the numbers. But here's why it's still a better time to buy. If you were to buy in 23, right? 23 and 24, and you're buying now, the median price is below 23 and below 24's pricing. So you're getting much better pricing and rates are coming down slightly, not a lot. They're not doing a whole lot. Now, Logan Motoshami did just come out and say that he expects rates to drop with the CPI, the numbers for the CPI. So we may see the Fed fund rate drop a little bit. So that is something to see there. But I mean, looking at this, you are definitely seeing prices year over year down. They've trended down the whole year. And look, prices are going to continue to fall like they do every single year. And why is that? Well, the June's numbers might pop back up because if we do have a lot of closings and prices go up a little bit, we might see a year over year positive number here in June, maybe in July. I doubt both of those things. I think we'll still probably trend. If we get close, we'll probably just trend below. But look, prices are about to start dropping down. And why is that? Well, that's because of this. It's because that in the MSA, we have 14,000 units on the market right now, 14,673 units on the market. That's a lot of inventory, 17% higher. So that tells me that prices are going to continue to fall. So if you are a buyer, just know the last half of the year, prices are going to fall and hopefully mortgage rates fall. And then you're going to be in a prime position the last half of the year. Now, let's look at city data. Let's start with, okay, we looked at the city of Austin. You always like to look at Georgetown. Georgetown for May was actually up 2.5% at 470,000 as a median. So look at that. Georgetown, look at these numbers are all over the place. Now, when we look at city by city, it's going to be like this, more sporadic. As we look at the market data as a whole, it's going to be a lot more uniform because you have 1 month where you have a lot of sales or a little sales, and both of those things can skew the data. So that was Georgetown. Let's look at Round Rock. Round Rock was down 4.4% at $430,000. Round Rock's been all over the map as well. What else would you want to hear? If I'm not hitting the right one in the comment section, please let me know. I want to know what you are looking for. But here we go. This was Leander. Leander down 3.1%. Kyle down 7.2% at 330,000. Pflugerville up a little bit, 409,000. Again, all these numbers look way sporadic. Now, a lot of new construction out there in all of these areas I've just talked about. San Marcos, we won't look at. Liberty Hill, San Marcos. I've had people yell at me in the comment section for saying it's San Marcos, not San Marcos. 494,000. Wow. Liberty Hill, I can't believe the prices in Liberty Hill sometimes. 494,000. I think it'd be a lot less. A little bit more slower of a upward trajectory, not as sporadic as the last couple of years, and that could just be more uniform closings. Hutto, an area that we talk about a lot on this channel. Hutto, we're looking at 351,000 is the median, so not so down what 8.9%. What about Dripping Springs, my neck of the woods? Down year over year, 640,000. Now you can get some good deals out in Dripping Springs right now. There's a lot. See, this is another one of those things. It's kind of hard to tell because there's so many good homes in the $500,000 range and a lot of homes well over that. So down 13%. I don't. It's so tough on some of these numbers because you have so much like lower dollar stuff in that area in Dripping Springs now on the far west side of Dripping Springs. So if you are looking for a really good area to live, Dripping Springs, there you go. So a lot of good information here. I mean, if you are looking at one of these markets, let me know in the comment section. I'm curious to see what you're thinking. 28% up for Lakeway, $880,000. Okay, so there we are with the market. Let me know what you think. If you haven't subscribed to this channel and you want more information, please do. I have another video coming out next week, breaking down some of the things that are happening in the market. I also got a couple other videos coming about what buyers and sellers should be aware of in the market. So if you haven't been on this channel, make sure you subscribe. Also, I got other neighborhood updates coming out very soon. So, and if you're not following me on Instagram or TikTok, I give a lot of what's happening in the market as far as what's happening in Austin on those channels, more of like informational. So follow me on Instagram and TikTok as well. We'll see you in the next video.